Harry got tragic ending by Charles' unforgivable mistakes, pushing him further away from the family. When you look at Prince Harry now, he's an unhappy husband, Archie and Lilibet's father. He's no longer King Charles' son, Prince William's brother, Princess Catherine's brother-in-law, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis's lovable uncle. He's an accessory, a third wheel if you will. Grief is terrible, but often a way to unite a family, and royal followers around the world hoped, despite it being through the most tragic of circumstances, that Her late Majesty's death in September would bring the royal family closer together, specifically mending fences between Prince Harry and his father King Charles and brother Prince William. But unfortunately, tensions seem to somehow be higher than ever. In regard to Harry and Charles's relationship, the new king caused a lot of damage by not allowing Harry to wear his military uniform to the Queen's funeral, harming their rocky relationship even more. I think the reconciliation might have been the intention, but the king's decision to initially not permit Harry to wear his uniform and during this funeral, and the fact that at times it seemed as if Harry and Meghan were being shoved in the background and even shunned, that did a lot of damage, I think, says royal author Christopher Anderson. So I have to wait and see where they go with this. King Charles eventually allowed Prince Harry to wear his military uniform during the vigil of Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren. However, Prince William's younger brother was reportedly hurt because the palace removed the Queen's ER initials on it. The ever-present looming fear of the contents of Spare, Harry's memoir set for release on January the 10th, 2023, isn't helping, Anderson adds. Anderson felt that King Charles made poor choices. He also warned the Sussexes about the impact of Prince Harry's memoir on the relationship with the royal family. He believed that depending on the memoir's content, the Sussexes might have a hard time reconciling with the royal family. There could only be a bombshell in that book, Anderson explained. There's no way to avoid the fact that it's going to rub the king the wrong way. Anderson speculated that Prince Harry and Markle want to tell the full and true story of their experiences while in the palace and with the royal family. However, their version is not necessarily a pretty one. According to royal expert Katie Nicholl, King Charles was not a present father with his sons, often leaving them to their own devices as he was busy with work and his longtime love, the then Camilla Parker-Bowles. With a busy work schedule and Camilla now very much a priority in his private diary, Charles placed too much trust in William and Harry to look after themselves. When the boys were not staying at the elite boarding school Eton College, they spent the majority of their time at their father's home, Highgrove House, but Charles was rarely there, one of Charles's former aides told Nicholl. According to the former aide, this lack of attention led the young brothers to act out and become rebellious. The boys wanted their independence, and they probably had too much of it. Often, when they wanted to speak to their father, he wasn't around, and because he didn't carry a cell phone with him, they would get frustrated that they couldn't get hold of him. If they needed him, they'd end up calling his protection officers so they could talk to him, which wasn't ideal. They wanted to speak to their dad, but Charles doesn't do calls on the hoof or texting. He likes to make time for considered conversations. Nicholl reports that because parties were so frequently thrown by the brothers at Highgrove House, it began to be known as Club H, and by 2001, when Harry was just 17, he was drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes at an inn near the home. Those who knew turned a blind eye, but when an aide recognised the unmistakable smell of marijuana emanating from Club H, the young prince was busted.